What is going on, people? This is another episode of Let's Be Real. I got to talk to you guys today. I want to encourage somebody out there today because I feel a pull to talk about this verse. This is considered one of my favorite verses. I don't really have a specific verse that's my favorite, but if I would have to choose one, I would say this is my favorite verse. And why I say that is because it touches a point in my life. It touches a certain nerve in my body that makes me wake up when I'm feeling down, or gives that extra pep in my step when I'm not feeling to go out and do anything that needs motivation, includes inspiration, anything like that. It gives me that one good pick me up. And it's in Jeremiah 29:11. Normally I don't like to bring up scripture in this because I like to stay neutral. People know my position, but listen, this is such a great encouragement for somebody out there. And it says this: "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And if you know my story, I was in the slumps in my mind. I was in the slums. Depression, anxiety, attempt to suicide. Listen, this is for those people that are feeling that. This is for those people that feel like, there's no hope. People that feel like, I can't go on. This gotta be my last day because I don't see a future. Listen, He has a future for you. His plan, and His only plan, is to give you hope and a future. This is such a big thing. We always turn to try and do it ourselves. Let's depend on God, man. Let's just depend on Him. We don't have to be that strong. This society tells you got to be that strong. You don't have to be that strong. You are allowed to depend on people, and you are allowed to depend on others. Other people that are not even have the same mindset as you. Like, say you're not Christian, right? You can depend on someone that's Christian, right? You can depend on God. And I don't know what's the big deal is with people. Maybe it's pride, but you're allowed to be you're allowed to be weak a bit. You're allowed, because we are human. We do make mistakes. The media wants to portray and always be on superstars, athletes, people of status when they make a mistake, to say, what is not normal for you to make a mistake. It's normal for you to make a mistake, man. I'm letting you know that you're going into your tomorrow, or you're going into your next day. You're gonna make a mistake, but mistakes are needed. This is going off on another thing, but mistakes are needed, because if you do not make a mistake, when something comes to hit you, how are you going to deal with that thing? How are you going to have that bounce back to say, okay, this didn't work, but we're going to go here? This is so needed. So people, if you feel like you're hopeless, there's hope for you. If you feel like you have no motivation, there's motivation for you. This is motivation for you. Plans to prosper you, to only prosper you and not to harm you. To give you hope and a future, man. Because where I was, I didn't see no future. I thought it was impossible to get there. I thought people were too hard on me because it was their future. But God has a future for you, man. My sister, my brother, God has a future for you. Listen, people, man, did stuff go down this week? Man, oh man. I don't know how to say his name, but it goes along the lines of XXX Tentacion. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's a young man. June 18th, 2018, man passed away, got shot in his what seemed to look like a Lamborghini to me. It looked like he was in his Lambo. Someone shot him and took his bag. Obviously, it was an expensive bag, but took his bag and ran off and left him there. So that's another young youth dead. And it's funny. I just got this. I'm gonna talk about this just because I got this. It's funny that someone that was black died, but they're not talking about white people shooting black people. They're just talking about the guns now. Oh man, you can't make people happy. That's the thing. Like, there's always going to be something wrong. There is always going to be something wrong. But this is my problem in this whole situation. I saw this on Instagram as well. I saw a post from a nurse. It's gone viral. You'll see it. But what it was talking about was how people were in the vicinity, and instead of going to either clog the bullet wound so blood wouldn't spill out more, people decided to take out their phones. Take out their phones and started videotaping? Yo, where did we go? Where did we go wrong as humans? As a society? As a collective society, where did we go wrong? What did we do that stopped us from saving humanity to capturing that moment? Why have we become the news station where the news station just shows up at the spot and they just reporting live from this accident? Why are we doing that? As citizens, we should look out for one another. I don't get this. It blows my mind. I heard of this, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago with another incident. Someone decided just to videotape while they were like the only people there that could save them. But they wanted to capture that moment. What are we doing? Where are our hearts? Where is the sympathy for mankind? And this is the problem, guys. I have nothing against animals. But if that was a dog or if that was a cat, severely hurt, someone will not be videotaping that. The first person that sees that wouldn't videotape that. Maybe the third or the fourth person that sees that. But the first person that sees that is not going to videotape. They're going to go and try and help and save that dog or cat. But a human, I'm not even going to talk about his character yet, but a human, you want to take out your phone and start videotaping? This is crazy. Now let me talk about this guy's character. I'm not too much in the rap game or into the rap world. Literally, I talked about this guy with some of my friends last weekend and just found out about him last weekend because we're comparing him to someone that looks like him. And like, oh, this guy looks like him. And I'm like, oh, what does this guy look like? So we saw XXXTentacion in that way. That's how I found him or knew about him. And then I kind of, after after he had passed, I started to look at his character because I wanted to see who this guy was. I didn't want to see just the the rap stuff. I don't want to see just that. I want to see who is this guy without a mic in his hand. Who is this guy when he's not doing stuff just to do stuff, publicity wise, or a publicity stunt. I don't know, whatever it's called. This man has got some character. This man has some he has some balls. He's bold. He's a very bold man. He loves to speak against people that are hopeless, people that don't have that push to go and get their dream. Inspires many young men. This man is serious. Ironically, I mean, I don't really want to take his last video for, okay, well, he knew he was going to die. I'm not taking it for that. I feel like everything has a purpose and everything has a plan. When he did that video, it was talking about his last life and living his last life. But I think he encouraged many. I think he was a great voice, and I want you to really take in what I'm about to say. It has a positive and a negative. The positive is what I'm about to say. The negative is what comes after it. There's a story after it. So stay with me. So this is it. The positive is this. I was watching a video, and his name is Frank Turek. His name is Frank Turek. And this man is so knowledgeable and has so much wisdom. He was talking about this one guy. And before he talked about this one guy, he was talking about the butterfly effect. He was saying how the butterfly effect could be so mysterious. So he says if a butterfly flaps his wings in Africa, it could affect something in North America, an event, or say he used an example of a baby dying, a young child dying, and that butterfly effect could then change into or then bring up a world leader that brings change. So he was talking about the ups and downs of that. And then he later on said, right after that, one guy said, if I had God's power just for 24 hours, one day, just for one day, you will see how many changes I will make. You could see the changes. It would be drastic changes. But then he said, if I had the wisdom of God, I wouldn't even touch one thing. And I said, damn, that's powerful. Because if we all had the power of God, we would do so many things, and we would change so many things just according to how we think things should go. We would change it because we have that power. We have God's power to do so. But if we have the wisdom that God has, we wouldn't touch anything. Saying that to say this, that some things happen for a reason. We may not know the reason, but there is a reason beyond our knowledge, beyond our wisdom and understanding. There is a reason. Let me say this now, because I am disgusted at the same time. There's a rapper named Tekashi 6ix9ine. I talked about him on my previous shows on how he was a great outreach type of person. He loves giving back to the kids, to the homeless and all that stuff. He likes doing that stuff, but his actions when he's holding a mic are not good. They are horrible. They lead to violence. They lead to the opposite of peace. Like, yeah, it's just gang violence, all that stuff. That's what he portrays when he has the mic, or creating songs, or holding a phone, posting a video on Instagram, telling people to holla at him, you know where I'm at. So I wanted to see what Tekashi 6ix9ine's reaction was to XXXTentacion's death. They ended up being good friends. Tentacion was, I would say, a mentor, even though they're in the same age bracket. I would say Tentacion is someone that spoke life into him, encouraged him, told him to worry about the peaceful act rather than the haters or the people that are after you physically. I saw a video that 6ix9ine had posted, and he looked very regretful. And this is where the butterfly effect comes in. During this video, he said, "Man, I'm trolling too much." This is paraphrasing. He said, "I'm trolling too much. Tentacion was always telling me to worry about the peace, worry about building others, and being there for people and all that stuff. Don't worry about the hate, just keep loving." I was going to, before this podcast, I was going to type it out to get a quotation, a word for word quotation. I go to this darn guy's page on Facebook. This man took down that video. I couldn't be more pissed and disgusted. I said, I'd be damned. You put up something that could encourage so many people, and it shows a side of vulnerability. It shows a side of you know, you got a heart. We're not just seeing it when you're giving it people money or food and all that stuff. That could be camera stuff. I don't even know the man's heart. I mean, it just looks like he has some good in him, you know. But to take down the video of portraying peace, listen, when I see that happen, I don't know, man. I don't know your character all of a sudden, because that was a great post. And why I was going to talk about this is because the butterfly effect. One person dying. I mean, death makes you reflect anyways. No matter how young or old the person is, it makes you reflect back on your life and see, give you a self-evaluation on how you are living your life and how do people see you living your life. So this butterfly effect was like Tentacion passing away, and then 6ix9ine reminiscing on how his life is going so far. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really hope for the best for this next generation, because I hope to have some kids in this next generation. I mean, all us young people hope to have some kids in this next generation. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Damn. That's all I gotta say is damn. Well, people, on a lighter note, I got a video for you. This is the savage of the week for me. I think so. I think this person's the savage of the week. I'm going to play you a video. You tell me what you think. Listen, I am Michael Brown 24 on Instagram. Give me a follow, or Snapchat MikeBrown.116.